Pizza
and Co.
I was going to say, now that we've extensively complained about how annoying it is when people make fun of other people's misfortune, let's read some stories about dead people and laugh at them.
Yeah, let's do that. Should we do the intro?
Welcome to
Second-Hand Haunting,
where we read ghost stories out of an old second-hand book I found in a second-hand shop. Try and make sense of them.
Fun of them.
Sense of them.
Fun of them.
Plane flying over.
Plane is flying over.
Brilliant
Or is it
time.
a ghost plane? I wonder if you'll be able to hear the plane in the recording.
Oh, you can.
Oh, you can?
Oh, yeah. I've had to try and cut it out a couple of times. It's annoying as hell.
I think you should leave that one. Just so you know, listeners, I live incredibly close to an airport. Not as close as the family in
The castle.
the castle. Callum has been finishing my sentences today, mostly because I've been floundering. Probably have to Google that one too.
Son of a bitch. I don't know where I'm going to edit that now.
So, very excited to hear what topics and stories that we have today.
Well, Ollie, I've got 3 for you.
3.
Yes, indeedy. I've got 2 more from Holy and Unholy Ghosts, a priest's experiences of the supernatural. One of which we mentioned last week as an option. That was The Suburban Devil, which is a tale of an exorcism in the suburbs. The Little Girl by the Sea, aka Priest Goes to a Haunted Bed and Breakfast.
First of all, sounds creepy. I love it.
But we've got a third option, The Haunted Bath.
The Haunted Bath.
Yep, not the town,
I didn't know there was a town. Is there a town called Bath?
Is there a town called Bath? Yes, it's an English town named after the Roman baths that used to exist there.
I love that someone did that. I love that someone named a town after Roman baths.
Before you make your decision, I will announce to the audience, I know you can see it, but The Haunted Bath is coming from Scottish Ghost Stories by Elliot O'Donnell.
Look, honestly, it's a tough choice. For me, it's The Little Girl by the Sea because it just sounds super creepy. Mm-hmm. But then The Haunted Bath sounds kind of creepy too. Obviously, I'm going to go with the option that I think is the creepiest.
Creepiest?
The creepiest.
Ah.
Is that not what we do?
You can judge these on any merits that you wish.
Well, just so you know, I try and pick the creepiest.
Okay.
Whenever I hear a story, whenever I'm choosing, I try and think to myself, what's going to be spine-tingling the most out of the options? And that's the one
so
I
The
go
Haunted
for.
Bath is right out then?
You don't think it's spine-tingling?
Well, it doesn't put me in
Spine-washing?
mind of shivers and spooks. It puts me in mind of how is a bathtub going to be haunted? And how did someone find that out?
How about we say then, because I am intrigued, we'll do the Little Girl by the Sea, priest visits a haunted inn.
Oh, yeah.
And then we do the bath and we tag that as the very next one that we'll read. Because I am intrigued. You have intrigued me, sir.
I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, and if you are, kudos to you. But I've already got a plan for next episode.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to be our 1-year anniversary.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Have you been doing this for 1 year?
Yup.
I tell you, my man, that time has literally flown past.
But for today, we're doing The Little Girl by the Sea.
The Little Girl by the Sea. So this is a big story, is it? Should I tuck myself in?
It's a little bit longer than normal. It's on the upper edge of what we're doing.
Imagine if someone did these as bedtime stories. I feel like that would really mess a kid up.
It depends. Do you want your kid to grow up to be fucked?
I was going to say a supernatural investigator.
Hey, okay.
Just
You want your little girl to grow up to be Elliot O'Donnell.
For a period of time when I was younger, I had The Hobbit read to me. I still remember that as a nice book to be read. It's probably why I still like Lord of the Rings to this day.
Yeah, good introduction.
Did you have any books read to you as a kid? I swear I'll end it there. That will be the last of the tangent.
Okay, the answer to your question is yes. Moving on.
Okay.
This is The Little Girl by the Sea, out of Peter Mullen's Holy and Unholy Ghosts, a priest's experience of the supernatural. Oh, I've just read my note for this one. This is the one where I've got to do not one but multiple Yorkshire accents, so strap in! The Yorkshire coast is rich in seafaring history. Whitby and Straths have connections with Captain Cook, and between these two towns lie several remote seaside villages built into the sides of some of the most spectacular cliffs in England. In the 18th and 19th centuries, these villages were busy ports for the iron and alum mines. But since the decline of these industries, they have become quiet places where the industrial remnants have become overgrown or fallen into ruin, like the old harbour at Port Mulgrave.
Port Mulgrave?
Mulgrave, yes.
You know, at the start, I was having visions of fjords, coastal fjords. Now I'm thinking of a beat-up old town where industry has long since left it behind.
Industry has departed, much like the tall ships of Yorkshire.
Yeah, I always really felt...
I appreciate that extremely disparaging look, Ollie.
I always really felt for towns when they were reliant on a particular industry and then that industry, like a factory closed down or several factories closed down. And
or a mine ran dry.
Something like that, yeah. It's interesting how a town has to rely on something like that to keep it running. Surely you'd think that towns could just survive on being a town.
Sure, if you lean into the tourism industry and perhaps start claiming that some of your B&Bs are haunted, that might bring some extra people to the town. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself.
Sure, okay. So I'm imagining a town where industry has left it behind, but also there's a few little pockets of haunted establishments.
I think you've just described more or less the north of England, yes.
I feel like I could spend some time there.
I have, it's lovely. You can walk the cliffs or the shore for miles and come across no one. In winter, particularly when a southeast gale is blowing, there is a raw beauty about the coastline. And on a fine summer day, the shore is a magical place and the view from the cliff tops seems limitless. A married couple in my parish bought a holiday cottage at Port Mulgrave, and I was invited to go there by myself for a break from church work and to do some writing. I went one autumn day and spent an hour or two walking the shore, collecting fossils before settling in to write in the evening. I don't know if we want to get into a priest collecting fossils. The kitchen and the back bedroom looked out over the sea, while the view from the living room and from the bedroom where I slept was of similar small houses across the steep street. You could look out and down at the many styles of walls and roofs and windows and at the chimneys, always in use, since at that time everyone had a coal fire. So this is set mid-century, somewhere in the 19-somethings.
Imagine everyone having a coal fire.
Yeah. That's not my asthma playing up. That's what it's like when everyone has a coal fire.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, people definitely got sick from inhalation related to burning coal. But it's rustic.
It is. It's quaint.
It's definitely quaint. Quaint and toxic.
It was a peaceful evening, as I recall, except for the sound of some child bouncing a ball out on the street. Or so it sounded. I went to bed at about midnight, slept soundly, awoke with the goals and made an early start back home.
Well, this is just a go-getter. Go-getter priest.
That's the exorcism story that you chose not to do.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a priest.
Yeah, but when you got to go get a priest, it's...
Oh, it's an exorcist.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Sure. I'm just imagining this like go-getter, motivated to save a soul today, priest.
No,
Save and trap, one of those things.
I'm skipping a lot of stories of this book. But yes, if there's one thing he's interested in, it's saving souls. He claims not to be writing this book just to convert people, but I have my doubts. When I went to give in the keys, the owners of the cottage asked, "Did you come across anything untoward?"
I like how the owners often know that something is haunted, but they don't tell you afterwards. Have you noticed that? Or even a house owner, they often will invite people to stay, but then they'll ask them the next day, "Hey, did that ghost visit you in the night?" And you're like, "Well, a heads up would have been great."
Well, if they gave you a heads up, you'd been thinking about it, and the ghost absolutely would have visited. Whereas if you say it after they've left and had an absolutely uneventful night, except for a girl bouncing a ball, then, it's proven they're not influencing you whatsoever.
You make a good point. If I was told that I was going to stay in a haunted bed for the night, I might not sleep.
Anyway, we don't know what these owners mean by untoward, right?
You're right, they could have sent strippers over.
For the priests.
Untoward, isn't
They're
it?
looking for blackmail material or something.
I got nothing.
I wondered what they could possibly mean. Rats, mice, blocked drains? But I was in a hurry, so I said quickly, "No, nothing." I left and gave no more thought to the incident. About a month after this, yes, it was a month, for I was preparing the carol services, I received an anxious phone call from the friends who had lent me the cottage. Could I go round at once? It was a matter of some urgency. "Now, tell the vicar what you told us and see what he makes of it all." The words were addressed to Brian, aged 16, the only son of the folk who owned the cottage. He was agitated and nervous and would not look straight at me. He smoked one cigarette after another as he told me his tale. In fact, he would not tell me anything at first, but blushed and hesitated, and turned away until he was half cajoled and half threatened into speaking by his mother, a formidable woman who stood with her arms folded throughout the long conversation.
Goaded into speaking by his mum, huh?
Yeah, you got to do what your mum says. At 16, that's barely an adult.
Back up a second.
Yep.
So the person telling the story is 16?
Yes.
The one that was chain smoking?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, this is mid-century Britain.
It would be probably more likely for a 16-year-old to be vaping now than smoking.
Yep.
There was even a subsidy, I think, by the British government where they were giving away vapes to ex-smokers. Yeah, for a while there.
Bloody hell.
Well, because they thought that it was better for you. Research had suggested.
Now, it's at this point I realise the mother might also be from Yorkshire, and I haven't been giving her a Yorkshire accent. And I'm going to continue doing that, because I don't need too many people with the same accent in this story.
Okay.
She began, "Now tell him, Brian, you've gone and frightened yourself, haven't you?" Then, aside to me, but still in her full echoing tones, "He's been up to the cottage with a couple of his mates, and I think they've all had a drop too much lager. Anyhow, whatever it was that happened, it's frightened him good and proper. I've even had him to the doctor, and he's been taking some tranquilizers. But look at him, still like a zombie and smoking his head off."
So you're saying that he's still like a zombie after drinking, smoking, and taking tranquilizers as a 16-year-old?
Correct.
Shocker.
I think that's the bit that you would expect. The unexpected bit, at least for her, is the fact that he's in this state and still smoking.
Well, maybe stop buying him cigarettes.
He's 16. He could go buy his own from the corner shop. I don't know what the laws were like in England in the 1970s, but they probably sold them to a 16-year-old, wouldn't they?
Not touching that one. Not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
Good call.
I don't know this. However, it does feel like his mum is supplying a lot of the things that are going into his body, making him a zombie. I'm just making a big assumption here, but it feels like it would be the case.
You're right. It could in fact be that she owns the bed and breakfast, and normally you stock that with things that your guests might want, right? You know, you'd put in the breakfast, you'd put in some coffee, tea supplies, toilet paper, lager, cigarettes.
Tranquilizers.
Now, I'm not going to have you labouring under the delusion that he's just picked up these tranquilizers off the street or anything. These were prescribed by a doctor after what he saw in the cottage.
Do you know, it is something that I've always thought is really funny that people describe some sort of drug as a tranquilizer, especially around that time. Because what's a tranquilizer? Like, there's so many drugs that you could consider having a tranquilizer effect, but I have noticed that when they talk about this general umbrella term as a tranquilizer, it seems to be of the age, around, olden times.
But before the general public at least knew how to categorize these things.
Yeah, that makes sense, but it's something that you don't hear today.
No.
No one's like, oh, I got prescribed tranquilizers.
No, you're right. When I hear the word tranquilizers in reference to a drug, it's normally preceded by the word horse and means ketamine, I think.
That's right, exactly. Whereas I don't think they gave the kid ketamine, or at least I hope they didn't.
No, it's probably just Phenergan or something. She added, derisorially, he says he's seen a ghost. It was a confused and confusing story, but there was the ring of truth about it simply because parts were so vivid. To begin with, Brian and his mates had been drinking. Quote, "But we weren't drunk."
All I'm just imagining is like, I'm not drunk. I only had a 6-pack. I can drink like a carton. I'm already 16.
I think we can probably both say that we've had that thought at some point in our lives. Maybe before, maybe after the age of 16, but it feels about right, doesn't it?
That would be no comment.
All right, give me a sec to get into Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Now give me a second to get into teenage Yorkshire. Teenage Yorkshire. There we are. There, we're in teenage Yorkshire now. We
are now entering teenage Yorkshire. Yorkshire? Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
We are now entering teenage Yorkshire territory.
You sound American. You need to be Yorkshire. Yorkshire, mate. Yorkshire.
Yes, I can't do that, Callum. But you feel free to, and continue to practice that Yorkshire accent. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the place right.
But we weren't drunk. There was this noise of somebody bouncing a ball real hard. Mark went to open the door and see what was there, and there was this fantastic blast, like really cold. And Mike said there was a girl on the stairs.
I wonder whether or not they could have been doing some other things besides drinking.
No.
Popping some tranquilizers.
You shush, you. Get out of here with that.
God knows what these crazy kids are up to. I'm hoping they live into their 20s. Don't become more ghosts.
Steve and I went to look, but there was nought there. We said he'd made it up, Mike. We said he was... Pause while he searched for an acceptable translation of what he and Steve had said. We said he was mad about girls. It's all he thinks about. But it was cold, freezing. Then we looked up and saw her. It was a little girl, about 9 or 10. She was coming down the stairs, smiling at us. She had a ball in her hand. Then, when she got halfway down, she just disappeared. I saw it, and I'm not making it up.
I definitely had the challenge of, constantly thinking about the opposite sex when I was 16, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That occupied a lot of my mind.
Is it a relief or a worry that the girl turns out to be 9 or 10? I guess Mike said he saw a girl, right?
It's a worry that...
Yeah.
That's how the friend referenced it.
Yeah, okay. So Mike just said he saw a girl, and the other boys were like, "Oh, Mike always seeing these girls."
So it's a problematic that their minds went to that. But I don't think that we can necessarily put any perspective on the actual individual themselves, who I believe saw an actual ghost. That's where I'm leaning.
Look, he saw a girl of about 9 or 10 with a ball in her hand smiling at him, walking downstairs, who then disappeared. I think he saw a ghost. Sorry, he saw a ghost.
I think he saw a ghost. Do we know the friend's name?
Well, there's Brian, who's telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mike, who saw the girl ghost first. And there's Steve also, who is there.
So we have multiple witnesses? Or is it just Mike? It was just Mike that saw the ghost.
No. Mike saw the girl first, and then both Steve and Brian went to the stairs and also saw the girl. And saw the girl smiling with a ball and disappear.
Wonder what her unfinished business was.
Ooh, I wonder.
She just wanted to go outside and play.
Maybe that.
Never
Maybe
got
someone
the chance.
else. Sorry?
Never got the chance.
Oh, that's sad now. I try to avoid the sad ones, Ollie.
You try and avoid the sadness in ghost stories?
Dude. So many dead babies.
So
many dead fucking babies. Look, dead babies isn't the sad part, though it is. It's the grieving, sad parents.
Yeah, like all of the above. Obviously, if there was a baby that belonged to somebody that I knew or myself, I would be incredibly depressed and upset about the situation. That being said, as a firm believer in reincarnation, I believe that they just, jumped into the next body. It's all good. Get another chance.
We could have
the sheer look of exasperation on your face.
We could have a long theological discussion about the origins of religion, specifically because of that one scenario you've posited.
But as you pointed out many, many times, this is not secondhand religion.
No, it's secondhand haunting. Secondhand haunting you. I think I've got a bit Gumby there.
Hard not to bring a little theology into it, though, especially when we've got a priest in the room.
Yeah, that's fair. I am ashamed to say that I actually... Okay, so keeping in mind this is the priest who is narrating this next bit. I am ashamed to say that I actually laughed out loud at this point. Not because of what Brian said, but because of the look of transcendental skepticism on his mother's face. Good on you, Peter Mullen. At least he tells us what he's thinking. You can kind of see his mum, can't you? Imagine hearing your 16-year-old son spouting this, to your mind, nonsense, with a priest standing in front of you, raptly paying attention.
Right, but, she was motivating him to tell the story.
Yes. Also that, yes. All right, so...
Continuously handing him contraband as he was doing it.
Have another cigarette, Brian. You're right. Look, we haven't got to the end of the story yet, but I think I
have a couple of bourbon shots. Loosen yourself up.
That lager's not enough, lad.
What do you call it when you drop a whiskey into a beer?
Oh,
strong beer.
Yep. A proper brew, that is.
I do actually has a real name, but it's definitely a strong beer.
Black and tan, perhaps?
Tonic Bone. It's a good name for it, actually.
It's just the salt. It's just the salt you want on chips.
I didn't pause, so...
Oh, fantastic. So all that's recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Hello, Nala. How did you
actually get in?
I don't know. I think she was hiding behind my jacket.
You want to see how she goes?
If she leaves us be, we leave her be. I'm not 100% sure where we got to. Yes, actually, I know exactly where we got to. It was the look of transcendental skepticism on his mother's face.
The look of skepticism.
It's true, Vicar. It's true, honest. What did you do then? We were scared. We didn't go upstairs. We went back into the front room and shut the door. It was all quiet. After a bit, we went and had another look up the stairs, but we couldn't see nowt. It wasn't cold anymore. Steve went halfway up the stairs and he got scared and came down again. There was no way we were going to go upstairs to sleep. We tried to sleep downstairs, on the sofa, on the rug and that. But we heard some noises again and decided to get out.
They should have slept in shifts with having one teenager on watch.
Yeah.
Protecting them from the evil
girl
with a ball. I didn't say with balls, I said a ball.
No, that's just... that's absurd. Set up a fucking...
Honestly, I can picture it quite clearly, you know?
Yeah?
I don't know why, but she's wearing a red dress in my mind.
Interesting. Very interesting. What colour's the ball?
Blue.
How big's the ball?
About, how do I put it? Like about...
Tennis ball, baseball, softball?
Do you know what? It's bigger than a tennis ball.
Soccer ball?
No, it's funny. Like I'm picturing like more or just like a bouncy ball, like a foam ball, which might not be of the time.
Are you thinking like a Nerf ball?
Yeah, like a Nerf ball. Something that...
Right. Not of the time.
Yeah, something that would be like twice the size of a tennis ball, I guess. Something around that mark.
Form in Yorkshire this time of century?
Did they have a...
No.
That
You're
little
being
child
cheeky. No, never out.
was, in fact, the straw that broke the camel's back.
She's pushing her luck, she was.
Ah, the ghost
pushing
again.
That plant, you is.
That was the ghost.
It was your bloody chair. I
Do you
think...
You know what would be fun? I mean, it's not going to be a trick now because I'm telling you about it, but it'd be fun to like get one of those devices that you can remotely trigger a little springboard that like springs things off. Have you seen that? They have
just
like
to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm just saying that could be funny.
If you did that, I would appreciate it. Unless I was holding a glass of wine at the time.
I mean, I can't do it now because I've told you about it.
No,
So that's just considerate of me.
You need to either give it a couple weeks or activate it right now.
About on our 2-year anniversary of the show.
All right, that sounds
The
good.
2-year anniversary episode, if you remember.
Yeah. Wink.
No, well, it'd be surprised if you remember.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
If you tell me you're doing the 2-year anniversary and you drop it on me in like 4 weeks' time.
That would be a surprise. I have to actually source one. Like I won't be.
Yeah. I love the concept, but the actual execution of what you're discussing, I have no idea what that's going to look like.
I bet you there's one you can buy that like a Bluetooth now.
A Bluetooth spring.
I'm not sure what you even call them, but you know, like a little thing that like knocks stuff over. You know, like you go...
A ghost!
A ghost, that's right. A Bluetooth-enabled ghost.
A Bluetooth.
Boot. Look, have we just come up with a product idea?
If you'd like me to delay the release of this episode so we can potentially go through the patent process for this particular object, sure, go for it. But we're going to need to record something else to get it out in the meantime.
A Bluetooth. You heard it here first.
Or at least we did. But to answer your question, no, I don't think they had foam balls in the 70s-ish in Yorkshire. I think they probably had to make do with an inflated sheep's bladder or something.
Is that what you think that she had?
No, I think she had a ball.
But what type of ball, Callum?
I don't know why I was picturing a basketball. That doesn't feel right for 70s Yorkshire either.
No, just an inflated sheep's bladder, apparently.
Yep. Ah,
Is that what they use as soccer balls, I wonder?
sure. In some places they still do.
What was the game?
Oh, soccer ball must be bloody lovely.
What was the game they used to play before soccer?
Kicky bladder.
Kicky bladder. You know, that's right. I remember those like fun games of kicky bladder.
What sport are you talking about? The game before football?
Yeah, kicky bladder. Kicky bladder, but you could hold it too.
Oh, handball. No.
Kicky holdy bladder.
Do you mean tennis?
No. Before
cricket?
Okay, sure. No, before soccer, they used to play a game that was similar to like rugby or even Australian rules.
Gridiron.
No. So it was before soccer, like the game that soccer evolved out of.
Huh.
You could actually hold the ball and run with it as well as like kick it. And then rugby and soccer both came out of the same game but went in different ways. Everything comes from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I can believe it. Oh, wait. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Hang on. I'll get there. War.
That's right. Before it was a ball, it was heads.
Yep. So the ball this little girl's holding is her own head.
That would be creepy.
I think that sentence just took a trip across the entire British Isles, but there you go. Can you remember where we were?
There was a 16-year-old that saw a ghost that we now know to be holding a human head.
Oh, God. But we heard some noises again and decided to get out. We locked up and Mike drove us back here. Woke us up in the middle of the night, said his father. I wondered what the hell was going on. Would you go back there, I asked. Not bloody likely, said Brian.
Did he actually say that? Not bloody likely.
Not bloody likely, said Brian.
Classic.
His mother fixed him with a look. But, said Brian's father, there's been another development since. We let the place to two nuns from down south who was doing a tour of the northeast. Whitby Abbey, Holy Island and the rest. They didn't see anything exactly, but they had to leave in a hurry. Couldn't stand being mucked about. So for those playing at home, I'm having trouble with these accents, and we've had two nuns come and stay in the cottage now.
One day he'll know the cottage by its real name, a cash cow. Come stay at the haunted cottage. See the young girl with the bouncy ball. Bouncy head.
What would you call a cottage in Port Mulgrave that was haunted by a girl on the stairs with a bouncy ball?
Hogwarts?
Sure, why the fuck not?
How are you holding up? Do we need a safety check?
We've just had a break. Oh, there's so much more to go. Okay.
If this accent is taking it out of your vocal cords...
I think it's just because when I get the accent going, I don't want to get out of it, and so I just keep barreling through, which means I'm talking a lot more at once.
I'll see Callum in a week and he's just like completely acclimated to the Yorkshire accent.
I don't know what's going to make it into the recording, but we did just take a short little dinner break, and I was pretty much in Yorkshire accent the whole time because I'm a...
method actor?
A method actor hack like Daniel Day-Lewis.
I actually don't know who that is. I've heard the name plenty of times, but I can't picture the face.
That's because he's such a good actor, you see.
Sure. Do you know one thing that he was in?
Lincoln.
Do you know two things that he was in?
Gangs of New York.
Do you know anything that's modern that he was in?
They're both modern. Fine.
Well, what was Gangs of New York? When did that come out?
No, I got this. It's the blood one. I drink your blood shake. Blood.
I'll drink your blood shake.
What's that thing called? I'll drink.
Twilight?
No. Sam and Paul Dano, like fighting over oil derricks in the... No. It's bloody summer, it is.
They say it's thicker than water.
Oh, by the way, the shot of whiskey in a pint of beer is called a Boilermaker.
Boilermaker, that's right.
I'll insert that wherever it was relevant.
Because it makes your blood boil.
There will be blood. That's the one.
You know what? I've heard of that and I still can't picture it.
There will be bloody likely.
I almost want to try, but I'm not going to. Like, I almost want
What,
to.
Yorkshire accent?
I could never get it.
Do it. It's fun.
I couldn't do it.
Look, if it doesn't happen, it'll be edited out, but have some fun.
But not bloody likely.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no, what?
You're not supposed to laugh at me.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to suddenly go Queensland. Oh, sorry.
All right, that's definitely all I'm going to try.
Oh, maybe that is staying in. No, I wouldn't. I couldn't.
No, it's
I'd
fine.
never.
It's fine. I don't get embarrassed easily. I don't.
You can tell me off if you want.
No, I don't. I genuinely don't get embarrassed easily. I don't mind what you include.
Rip me a new one, lad. Tell me off. Hit me. With your rhythm stick. Hit me. Hit me. Sorry.
You would do well in a actual movie in that character, I think. Because I feel like you're absolutely...
What character?
Whatever it would be. Let's write... It would be...
Person who thinks he's from Yorkshire.
You know, it'd be interesting if we wrote like a mini-series about the girl with the severed head. But...
To be clear, she doesn't have a severed head. We made that up. Presumably she has a regular head.
No, she has a regular head, but she's carrying around a severed head.
Someone else's head?
It's not a ball, it's a head. That's what I thought. That's what you go.
No, it's a bladder, me lad.
Bladder. To be honest, I think it would have to be a severed head to actually make a decent miniseries. I'm not sure if a sheep's bladder would really cut it.
No, the only sheep's bladder I'd cut is a haggis. That's a different accent for another day.
We'd need to have the priest go a bit nuts as well, maybe an exorcism.
Well, shall I keep reading?
That sounds like a great idea. Hopefully they didn't mess up their cash cow. Uh-oh.
But first we need to hear what else Brian's father has to say about the nuns specifically. They'd go for a walk on the beach, and when they came back and tried to make a cup of tea, they'd find all the kitchen stuff, pans and cups and everything, had been shoved under the beds.
Sounds like a classic prank to me. Brian!
Yes. Could it be the ghost, or could it be your smoking, drinking 16-year-old son who has keys to the cottage?
Who's on tranquilizers? Oh, it's that ghost again. Did you hear it?
No. His wife gave me a spooky stare. Now, that's the look, not the thing that the ghost girl had been seen on. She cleared her throat and said, "We wondered if you'd go up there and do an exorcism, Vicar." Excited?
Always. Especially for an exorcism.
Well, I explained that exorcisms were last resort tactics, and that an exorcism was an official and very long rite used only by experts, acting under the direct and specific authority of a bishop.
I'll give it a go.
Things were made a lot worse by that film, The Exorcist. Before that, a diocese might see one case of genuine devil possession in a decade. Now people were dabbling in the occult all over the place and scaring themselves silly. They work themselves up to imagining they're possessed and ask the church to get involved. It's very rarely a case for The Exorcist, though. Just overexcitement.
Just try to break up a Sunday.
But people can be badly frightened. Do you think you'd do an exorcism on a Sunday? Or wait for Monday?
No, you're absolutely right. We should rest on the Sabbath.
You see, I told you he'd say we invented it all. Now, I'm not saying that, Brian. You've obviously had a nasty shock. I'll certainly go up to the cottage, but I don't think there'll be any need for an exorcism. What will you do? Asked his mother. I'll say a few prayers and bless the house. What sort of prayers? Now, Mother, why are you questioning this?
Maybe she's just, thirsty for knowledge.
Oh, in case the priest's exorcism doesn't work and she needs to do one of her own later.
No.
She needs some work instructions to work from.
Look, I personally am always just interested. Like, when I heard that, it occurred to me as well. Like, what prayers? What's a prayer, really?
Ordinary prayers. Our Father, the glory be to God on high. in a troubled house like that, it's a good idea to say a prayer for the repose of the souls of the departed.
Sounds like a chant. Same difference?
I think you do chant some prayers, yes. Yeah. And in a house blessing, it's customary to sprinkle each room with holy water.
Yeah, I love it. Love a good splashing of holy water.
Now, given what we know about the mother, what do you think her reaction to that is?
Fuck yeah.
No, it's... What's holy water? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'd have to Google that.
God damn it, no! Oh, I might be keeping that one in. And I just gotta hope she doesn't listen. Oh.
I can 100% promise you that not listening. And by that, I mean the that lives in Perth.
I'm just gonna bleep the name. I'll keep it in, I'll bleep the name. Perfect. Water that's been blessed by a priest. Like at a christening. I thought it would be something special. She sounded disappointed. It is special. But it's just holy water. It doesn't come in different octanes for different performances, you know.
It'd be interesting if he had different strengths of holy water. I tell you, if I was the Catholic Church, I would have premium holy water. I'd have like the entry level holy water. And I get the premium top shelf holy water. Costs just a little bit more money, but a couple of priests have blessed it, not just the one.
Fun thing about holy water.
Then there's the holy water that's been blessed by the Pope himself.
Does exist.
That shit is expensive.
It's for sale. But also, if you add regular water to holy water, as long as more than half of it is still the original holy water, the whole thing now becomes holy water.
Who makes those rules?
The Vatican.
Well, you know.
Yeah, you weren't ready for an answer, were you?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it'd be easy to test, right? Because they've probably got some holy water testing kits.
Yep.
Yeah, they can use the scientific method.
It's got one of those little acid dipper for pools to tell you how chlorinated it is.
Yeah, but this one tells you how many holy molecules are in the water. How many God molecules?
Oh, I'm this fucking close to getting on a tangent about homeopathy.
Homeopathy?
Homeopathy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait, what did you... No, I'm not. No. See that grin? Homeopathy, when you put like a drop of medicine in some water and then dilute that and dilute that and dilute that, and apparently it still has properties of the original disease or some shit. I don't know.
Right, so it's not whores that bless water. Was not my best work.
You son of a bitch.
Anyway, back to the exorcism. We've got the holy water.
Yes, and the priest has explained in almost perfect terms that there is in fact only one version of holy water. There's not a special holy water or an unspecial holy water. It's all special.
Even when it's been blessed by the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
It all melts vampires.
Yep. You want to see what it's going to do to a ghost?
Like a witch in The Wizard of Oz.
I explained that a house blessing could be more elaborate, a rite in itself, like a holy housewarming. People sometimes have them and invite their friends when they move homes.
I bet you a satanic house blessing would be a lot more fun.
Yeah. There's no more efficient way to heat up a room than to...
have an orgy.
You said it, not me.
I did. That's what I imagined, anyway.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I was speculatively saying. It does sound like it'd be a fun church to be a part of.
Yeah, but you got to do it in every room. Every room.
I've also been, curious about like how much blood they splash around. Anyway,
The regular amount. But in this case, I shall simply take my flask of holy water and say some English prayers. It was a brooding December on the Bear Coast, the sky the colour of a dirty duster, and no wind. It hardly got light all day. I put on my surplice and stole, and walked from room to room. Absolve, O Lord, the soul of thy servant, that she be who is dead to the world may live to thee, and wipe away by thy most merciful forgiveness whatever sins she may have committed in life through human frailty. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Woo. Do you know,
I thought you might echo the amen there. I don't know why I thought that.
Amen. All I was thinking about is how I want to use the phrase, the sky is like a dirty duster.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
You remember that?
I have no idea what it means, but I like it.
I mean, it must mean cloudy, right? Like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, not cloudy. I meant overcast.
Yes. But like a duster coat or a feather duster?
I was thinking feather duster that's covered in dust and it's kind of like grey.
You know what? Yes, that actually makes exact sense to me now, and I'm quite embarrassed I did not realise what that meant immediately. Anyway, moving on. Up the stairs and into the bedroom which overlooks the sea. Eternal rest grant unto her, O Lord, and let light perpetual shine upon her. Amen.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want eternal rest. That doesn't sound like fun, does it?
That doesn't sound like anything. I think that's the point.
Like death is like sleeping forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds relaxing. Is
Does
the
it?
point.
Do you?
Well, it's better than haunting some stairs. Imagine, of all the places to haunt, fucking stairs. You got to be walking up and down all day.
Do you like to sleep?
Yes.
But do you go to sleep and then you wake up? Do you remember being asleep?
Sometimes. If I've been dreaming, usually.
Okay, so what you really like to do is dream?
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Because you like to sleep, but you don't remember it unless you dream. So do you like to dream?
Are you going somewhere with this?
You can't like something you can't remember.
I'll tell you what. Every time I wake up to an alarm, I think, well, this is a worse state of affairs than what was happening a second ago. So I must sleep more than waking up, right?
But it's an assumption that you're making. Is it that you like sleep or is it that you don't like waking up? It's like, I have to face the world once again.
What's this fucking alarm doing? Going off so early in the goddamn morning. I don't know where this accent's going, but it's going somewheres.
Reality again. Damn.
Work again. Oh, going to the coal mine again. No,
all I'm saying is that sleeping forever sounds like oblivion. I don't think that doesn't sound relaxing to me. It sounds like nothing. Just saying. Just
again.
I've always found a bit of a bugbear with off to eternal sleep.
I think entire religions have spun off over this particular disagreement. So,
all right, sorry. Too much theology again.
I think so.
As I said, it's got to be sprinkled in, though. It's hard to, just separate yourself from theology when you're talking ghost stories. That's my line in the sand. There has to be some theology.
Amen.
Okay, that was a good one. That was a terribly good amen there, Callum. In the name of the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Well, you got them around the wrong way, but sure, amen.
Did I? Is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost?
Yeah.
Have I been saying it wrong this entire time?
I don't know. Honestly, it sounded wrong, and I'm not sure what I assume. I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyway, the house was quiet. It was even cosy downstairs as I sat by the fire writing my article for the January Parish magazine. But the night was disturbed. I had a nightmare, the details of which I cannot now recall, but it involved the sea and anger and departing ships. I awoke to find myself not in bed, but standing at the top of the stairs in the darkness. If I had taken another step, I would have fallen headlong. Ooh. Holy shit, we have to do that more. That's amazingly fun. Listener, if you've never said ooh in concert with someone before, do it. I promise you will love it.
I thought our vocals when we were singing that Waltzing Matilda, which I'm going to assume that you've put a small part of in an episode leading up to this, so there's some context.
Yeah. That will have been out by now, yes.
I thought our joint vocals in the Waltzing Matilda were good. I thought they sounded good together.
I agree. And I will once again put this out there, that if you want to hear more of Ollie and I singing, please send us an email. Links in the description. To ndhandhaunt@gmail.com. By the way, we do need to talk about the email we got.
Okay, so we'll have to...
Not now, but we do need to do that.
Sure. So if you do email us, please do song requests.
They have to be about ghosts, though. Or have a ghost, or haunting, or death.
Song requests about ghosts.
And be playable on an acoustic guitar. By Ollie.
Oh, we can make that work.
I turned on the light and walked down to the kitchen. As I sat there with my coffee, I heard a rhythmical sound from upstairs, as if someone there was engaged in a game or a dance. Then there was a noise from the stairs, and a child's rubber ball came bouncing into the kitchen and stopped just in front of my chair.
You know what? I stand by what I said before. I feel like it would be like a big rubber ball, a big blue rubber ball.
It's blue now. Okay.
Yeah, it's contrasted the red dress that the creepy little girl is in.
Yep, she definitely was. Listener, rewind to find out where that came from, because it was not the story. And it might not even be in the episode. Who knows?
No, because I'm doing some of my medium work.
Yeah.
Projecting my consciousness back to the event so I could, see the girl along Mike.
Yep. Sorry, I thought you meant the thing in front of us. You meant Mike in the story.
Mike in the story. I pay attention.
More than most weeks, but...
Oh. Oh my God. Just for that, I'm going to go get a glass of wine.
Fair enough.
Shaky, Callum, shaky.
But we'll probably cut pretty much everything that just happened. And we're going to jump straight into, with reference to the ball...
Second-hand horseback.
We'll just get right back to the start.
Once upon a time...
there was a book.
A
book in a second-hand store. A second-hand book in a second-hand store about a second-hand story.
That Callum's mum picked up.
No, I got this one.
I was going to say a couple of the recent books.
I'm going to slip back into that Yorkshire accent if you're not careful. I haven't, but I will.
Just on that, I feel like there's some accents which sound like romantic, and then there's some accents I think would be terribly hard to be romantic in. I feel like the Yorkshire accent would be hard to be romantic in. It's not like a...
The French accent makes love. Yorkshire accent fucks.
That's exactly right, Callum. That's exactly what I meant.
We're in edit territory, but I need
we don't
to
have
pull
to
that
be.
out
We don't have to be.
somehow.
We do not have to be.
Okay, so about this ball, it was perfectly. The rubber one dropped by the little girl on the stairs.
I got that.
Not the one between my legs. That's right. Just one, but it works twice as hard.
I heard that you were just referring to one. I thought we were just going to fly past it, but no.
Oh, God, I feel bad for Amber when I get home still stuck in this accent. It was perfect.
I feel like that has been the theme of this episode so far. It's just uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah.
I feel like I chose well.
Yes, yes. It was perfectly solid and ordinary. I picked it up and walked back upstairs with it. All was now quiet. In the morning, I walked along the shore. A wind had got up and the atmosphere was exhilarating. Towards lunchtime, I went in the ship inn. where a few retired locals were playing dominoes at the tables next to a huge coal fire.
God, that sounds like fun.
It sounds delightful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They drew me into conversation out of a friendly mixture of kindness and curiosity, and as soon as they discovered where I was staying, one of them said, "Have you seen her then?" I asked for the story. Oh, fuck, here we go. Up until this point, the text has been written in more or less plain English.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've got apostrophes in place of vowels and all sorts. So
Lovely. Love that for us. Love that for you.
Wish me luck. It were more than 100 years ago. Her father was a seaman, bit of a pirate by all accounts. Smuggling. He went out and left his little girl locked in cupboard in the bedroom. Some says he meant to kill her. But there's them as says he was so drunk he forgot all about her. When they found her, poor mate, she was dead. Starved. Everybody knows about her. They say she can't rest. Has she been bothering you then?
Starved of attention.
Like these drunks in the pub.
Mm.
No, she hasn't bothered me. I had left my clerical collar off, or else I imagine I would have forced stiffer interrogation.
Undercover priest.
Oh my god, I want that show so bad. I don't know what it would be, but I want it.
You actually just sounded like exactly like John Oliver.
I lunched in the ship and then walked back up the cobbled road to the cottage. It was sunny now, and the village was all sharp shadows. I looked up at the cottages, all higgledy-piggledy on the cliffside. Nothing had altered much in 100 years. Fishermen and wheeling gulls, people in scarves standing on the doorsteps to catch what there was of the sunshine. It was a sleepy afternoon.
I quite like the language. I feel like we've, lost some colour by not using phrases like hickledy-pickledy anymore.
Oh, I use higgledy-piggledy quite a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the occasion needs to call for it. It's rare that something needs to be described as higgledy-piggledy, but when it does, you know I'm there with the higgledy-piggledy.
Oh god, that accent is just a classic.
I went into the cottage and stayed another night in there, in the same bedroom, the one with the tall cupboard. I heard no strange sounds and suffered no nightmares. In fact, the house seemed to have fallen calm and quiet. The atmosphere was warm and benign. In the morning, I read the Psalms set for the day in the prayer book and ended with... fucking Latin. Oh. I was prepared for a Yorkshire accent. I wasn't prepared for Latin. Requiem aeternum dona eis Domine, elu perpetuam elucet eis.
Lingarium Leviosa.
Bracket. Rest eternal grant unto them, O Lord, and let light perpetual shine upon them. End bracket. Then I got in the car and drove home. The end.
Sometimes these stories really peter out, don't they?
What do you mean? The priest, he did a whole exorcism. The ghost girl dropped her ball for him for the last time. Don't know where the ball went. Then he went and had some drinks in the pub and was told that a girl had starved in a cupboard. The end. Everything's okay now.
That summary was good. I liked that. That really put a bow on it.
This B&B is clean.
Kind of sad, actually. She dropped her ball for the last time.
Yeah, and moved on to a higher plane. Upstairs.
Or a lower plane.
Ground floor. Oh, there we go. So that's the most accent I hope I'll ever have to do on this show.
I'm looking forward to more. More elaborate, more crazy accents.
No. No, please. But I guess before we sign off for the day, do you have an MVP? Most valuable poltergeist person, whatever.
Look, I'm actually thinking that I'm leaning towards Mike.
Mike, the first guy to see the ghost, right?
Yeah, Mike with girls on the mind.
Well, yeah.
Not young girls.
No, true.
Just
enough,
in general.
Enough girls that the other two boys are like, that's Mike. He's got girls on his mind, hasn't he?
Yeah, Mike, the player that sees ghosts that have nothing to do with each other.
This is going to be a reference that I suspect one, maybe two people listening will get. Because he's got girls, and he's Mike.
Nicely done.
Ollie doesn't know it, and that's okay.
But someone will, and that's what's important. Somebody out there is going, huh.
And if that one person knows how to email us, please do. Because we would love to hear from you. Or, just at the next family gathering, let me know. Dad, if you don't tell me, I know you're not listening.
And that, folks, is how you guilt trip your family. Because really, what is family all about if not for guilt tripping?
For podcast downloads, Ollie. Come on.
I'm going to say that might be all the time we have today.
Yes, it absolutely is. I'm going to quickly chuck my MVP out there.
Sorry to skip over that.
I don't know who it's going to be, though. I haven't really quite thought about it.
Undercover priest. I mean, obviously he was the leader of the story, but I feel like he's too obvious a choice.
Yeah, I don't want to put the author as the MVP. That does feel a bit naff.
Okay. Look, I'm going to stop leading you, and we can give you a second. Ruminate.
I don't know about her being MVP, but I appreciate the character of the mother.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it'd be the mum.
You know exactly what that woman's like.
What exactly is holy water?
I thought it would be more special than that. That's a very specific brand of entitled.
Well, holy water is when tiny little angels all gather together.
When a mummy molecule and a daddy molecule love each other.
They're like little baby holy water molecules.
You know what? No, I reckon... What's the guy? What's his name? Hang on. I got there. There we go. All right. My MVP for the story is actually William Peter Blatty, who wrote The Exorcist and has inspired all of these people in Northern England to start having experiences they think should have an exorcism involved.
So I'm going to make the outlandish claim that there was, in fact, a ghost. But the popularity of The Exorcist made people want to exorcise their ghosts more.
Rather than just play with her with the ball.
Which is really what they should have done to begin with. You know? Played a bit of catch.
How mean.
I know.
Jerks.
She smiled and everything.
She did. All right, fuck it.
Super friggin' friendly.
You're right. The MVP is the little ghost girl and everyone else is a complete a-hole.
I bet you when she dropped the ball, she cried.
Jesus Christ. All right. How about you tune in next fortnight for another cheery episode of
Second-hand haunting.
Christ almighty.